Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens one on Instagram. And this is fucking talking shit with Eagle episode 829 featuring Beavah's Budz and Toonbuds. How you guys doing this evening? You want to tell us how you're doing and where you can be found?
All right, I'll start off. So, hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Beaver Budz. I'm here over on the East Coast, located in the South Shore of Massachusetts. You can find me on Instagram under Beaver Budz Backup. You can also find me on my website at beaverbuds.com. And also, some of the collaborations I've worked on, there's some other links to other companies that I've worked with, including Toonbuds, who I'm lucky enough to be guests with. I'll let you guys let them know where you're from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeremy.
We're creators of Toonbuds. We do like cartoon canvas comics and
Animation. Yeah. We do a lot of art styles.
You find us on toonbuds.com and all our Instagram at Toonbuds. All social media, I think it's Toonbuds.
Yeah.
And
they're a little bit more active than me. They're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Yeah. They're a little more advanced than I am on the social media.
We're everywhere.
Yeah. You Google too much, you'll find us.
Nothing wrong with that. I've been an advocate for years to saying that anytime a platform does pop up, you should pop up, and even if you're going to use that platform or not, to just claim your name, because the next thing you know, you'll be Eagle Gardens 1 instead of Eagle Gardens. That's how that whole thing worked out right there. It's the different progression in platforms there. But yeah, so what do you guys, did you bring anything to smoke on this evening while we had our chat?
Yeah, no, I got a little bit of I have right now, I'm smoking my backyard boogie, which is a cross that I created. It's OG Kush from the first grow I ever had 15 years ago. I had some seeds of OG Kush left over. I crossed with the 98 original skunk #1. So I've been enjoying that one. That's a new one that I released this year. And then I also have some banana bubble gum. I have some red secret stash that I created. And then my buddies grow gave me some G25 and Do-si-do. So try a little bit of that later in the evening.
Nice. Toonbuds?
Yeah, we got some grape cream cake. So his wife got it for us the other day. She just picked some stuff up, but it's been pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad.
Very nice. How about you? What are you smoking on tonight?
I don't really know, to be honest with you, because I was lucky enough last week or the week before, still somewhat of a blur. The weekend before, I was lucky enough to judge the Sun-Grown Cup here in Michigan.
Oh, nice.
And I still had some like samples left over, or part of the samples left over, and they were a blind sample. So
all right, awesome.
I don't know who grew it, what it is. It was just based on merit of what was in the jar there.
Yep.
So I don't know. Very delicious, I can tell you that.
Awesome. No, so with the competition, some of the ones I've judged and the ones I've entered, most of them have been that blind testing, and I absolutely love that because you don't know what you're getting, which is good, because when you find out, who the breeder is or the name brand, that changes your opinion a little bit. It's like, oh, that's my homie, or I've heard crazy things about them. So you're already going in kind of misjudging that strain, like, hey, this is a fire strain. Oh, everyone told me it's fire. It must be fire. So I do appreciate those blind testing. So it's like, let me see what it is. I understand it's in this category, but let's see how it smells, the look, the cure, the taste, and then, ultimately how the high is. You're on mute, brother.
I hit the wrong mute button. Sorry about that. This time around, it was super blind. So I didn't know, you didn't know if what, again, breeder, strain, indica, sativa. You didn't know what you were getting when you kind of fired up. And it was that kind of roller coaster going through. There was like 75 samples between there was sun grown organics, and then there was bread, Michigan bread, sun grown organic.
Okay.
And then there was the rosins on top of that. But you know, it was pretty much a roller coaster of going through that sample, up, down, up, down, up, I'm taking a nap. A couple of them put me right out.
Right on.
So enough about what I'm smoking on, what I've been up to. What have you guys been up to? How'd you guys meet?
So
I think
yeah,
it was like,
and you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I know we met at Harvest Cup. I want to say it was 2018.
it was the Harvest Cup.
Do you guys think it was 5 years ago at 2018, or do you think it was like 2019 or 2020? Because
It was either 2018 or 2019.
Yeah,
That's what I was
I think
thinking.
it was the first Harvest Cup we went to.
yeah, so I think it's 2018.
Yeah, because I was saying, because I won in 2017 and I had already been to a couple Harvest Cups, and I think it was when I first really like formulated Beaver Buds, you know, having that idea on the couch with the wife, like, hey, why don't I draw two beavers on a couch, you know, getting high, like as my logo. So I think you're right. I think that would have been 2019 or the end of 2018, early 2019, right around.
Yeah,
Around there. That sounds all right.
Yeah, I remember you came over and gave us 2 joints.
Yeah, so I'll never forget this. So their brother, you know, who was like a hype man for him at the Harvest Cup show, you know, comes over. He's like, "Hey, dude, we got this wild and wacky Toonbuds. Come check us out." And I just remember I was with my wife. It was the first show she had ever been to with me, and I'm just like, "Yeah, you know." There's a lot of interesting people you meet at these shows. There's a lot of interesting stoners out there because my wife, she hangs around stoners, but never been to like a convention or a true show and seen that. So I was like, yeah, some people are a little wacky, some are a little nutty, some are really awesome. So we end up going over to their table and, you know, ended up talking. And I had some pre-rolls I was handed out of some of my strains, and they were doing, you know, all their stuff. And I'll let you guys talk about that as well. But, you know, one thing led to another. We were talking, and it kind of was like, hey, you guys seem pretty cool. You're local. Have a couple joints. They were like, have our grow guide. And that's kind of how we linked up. And then I think it wasn't too long afterwards, maybe a couple months afterwards, we connected online and was like, hey, do you guys want to, like, you know, actually try something out between the three of us? You guys let me know if my memory serves me correctly.
No, that's correct. And then we were trying to figure out a way for us to collaborate, and that's when we first came up with, like, let's do monthly grow tips. And,
yes.
So we would release a new grow tip every single month, something simple. Like with your characters, you have them changing hats a lot. So with the grow tips, we had all our characters like changing hats every time. But then we were like, how do we take this collaboration to the next level? And that's when we started thinking about doing maybe monthly comic strips.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that might have been one of the first times I had you guys down to the house, you know, and I think that's when we all kind of realized was like, oh, neither of us are bullshitting around. Let's do this, you know, because I mean, I'm sure, Eagle, in your time in this industry as well, you'll meet a lot of dreamers, you know, and a lot of people that have great ideas and like, let's do this, let's do that, you know, and I can say, like, meeting Jeremy and Jason, and I've met a lot of great people in this industry that I've watched their dreams come true. But there were some of the first people that was like, yeah, I'm 100% in. Don't know you from a hole in the wall. Don't know what will happen, but let's try it out. You know, and here we are almost 5 years later, you know, and we're coming out with a book.
Yeah.
That's super awesome. I have nothing but respect and admiration for dream chasers. You know, so many people in life are quick to kind of give up and kind of conform and start, you know, building on other people's dreams. But man, I've always told myself, my kids, and everybody around me, it's never too late to live your dreams. You know what I mean? So I appreciate those people that are out there trying, you know what I mean, to live their dreams, and at whatever cost, whatever risk, you know, It's very admirable. It's
Well,
awesome to live life in
thank
it.
you. I appreciate that. And it's very true what you're saying because, since we last chatted, I left my position as head grower back in June to make Beaver Buds full time, and I'm not going to go into that. There's a reason why I left a giant MSO. There was certain aspects that I loved, certain aspects that I did not love. And it gets back to the more mom and pop, the legacy, side of our industry where my passion is. But that was probably the one of the hardest things was going full force with Beaver Buds. I gave up a 6-figure job. Had my dream job. I was a head grower. Can't get any better than that. In all honesty, it's pretty awesome. But I also realized I had much bigger dreams and passions for this industry. And it took a lot. And it was probably the hardest decision of my professional career, but the best decision of my professional career to break free of those constraints, give it up, do things my way. And, I won't go into crazy detail because we're not here for that, but I am fortunate that I am able to pursue my passions this way because I worked hard and, earlier in my life, made the right moves and everything. Not everyone can in their 40s can just give up, their job just to be like, hey, I have a passion for this. I think I could do good at this. Let's see what happens, and take that risk. So I do appreciate, you saying that. So thank you.
So I gotta, bring Toonbuds into this a little bit here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let me overtalk, guys. Tonight.
What's what led on to your guys' passion into the art and side of things? When did you guys start looking to that?
I've always drawn my whole life. I've drawn since I was little. I've always went to like different like art clubs and stuff like that. I got real big into charcoal when I was little, charcoal and pastel. I think charcoal is where I got my love of like black and white things. As you can tell from our cartoons, it's black and white style. um, and then just growing, and then like when the internet came out, I discovered like digital drawing, and I was like, wow, they made everything so much easier. You can hit like undo, and then you undo a line right away. Then that's what got me into digital drawing. But as for like cartoons and stuff, we've always been like watching cartoons and stuff, reading comics. We're only 3 years apart in age, so we watch a lot of the same things. Plus, we have a big family. We're the youngest of 5 children. So we got older siblings who we watch all their cartoons with them too, and our parents' cartoons. So we have like a wide knowledge of cartoons. But yeah, I've always loved that style, that all the different like cartoons. I just love like 2D animation.
Yeah, the rubber hose, how the old school one needs to draw each frame by frame, because that's how we do it. And
Yeah.
the richness of the drawings. That's what we like. That's what we try to like bring back into it. Because now everything's so stiff and like so perfect. It's like the imperfections made it perfect almost.
Yeah, and then we originally had this other comic idea that we were planning when we were younger. It was just like this massive idea. We always said if we get big, we'll pursue that one day. But one day we were just smoking, like, and doodling some ideas. We were talking about like a bong-headed guy. That's where our main character Bongo. He's on my shirt here. That's where he came from. And then there was something about this character that had a lot of life in him, and then we started just discussing this character a lot and like other characters that would be in the world, and they were like, oh, if there's a grinder character, what if there's a pot leaf character, what if, and it kind of like branched off from that, and it was like Toonbuds was kind of born from smoking. It's about smoking, it's about cannabis, and it was born from cannabis. What I like to say.
All right, super cool. There's a lot of cannabis users that enjoy comics.
Yes.
Still.
Yeah, I was gonna say we get smoke and we just watch cartoons all the time, and that's kind of where the inspiration like clicked. It's like, there isn't a cartoon like this where it's like it captures that vibe of just kind of smoking and chilling with your friends, having a good time.
Yeah. Like we made a winter animation special. You can see it on YouTube. It's Bungo Saves Winter, and it's just basically our character trying to get across Boston to save like a plant.
Yeah.
It's like that simple like stoner, like, you know, simple journey, but like it's the like little things along the way that make it fun.
Sorry.
So how many characters in all do you think you have to date?
So in our main cast of Toonbuds, we have 10 characters. Let's see, I have some pictures here. I don't know if they'll show up well here. Bongo, he's our main guy. He's got like a bong head. He's our like movie and cartoon buff. He loves all media like that. Comes from our love of cartoons and media.
Yeah.
Kiefer, he's a grinder. He's our grower of the group. You can see here he's growing. He's got his stuff. Some seaweed. We use him to like showcase gardening tips and stuff like that.
Yeah. He's like the most knowledgeable about cannabis out of all the Toonbuds.
MJ, she's into fashion. We were trying to give them all different hobbies because we know so many different people who smoke and they all have like different hobbies and stuff. We were trying to like capture that, like all these different types of stoners, and we try to showcase different weed strains through her dresses. Like this one's like based off of like lemon haze. Let's see. Piper, based off of Pipe, is our dog. We even have a little plushie of it. He's like a
little Pipe.
All into food and stuff. Like this right here, takes high stakes. Trey, he's our artist. He also has a bit of a temper because we've had that experience where people always knock the ashtray over or they forget the ash and they ignore it. So he's always getting mad at people hitting him or ignoring him.
Yeah, he's like forgotten hero.
Let's see. We got Zip right here. He's a lighter. He's into music. We're inspired by like the concerts. You hold the lighter up in the concerts and stuff. So it's like that felt like a fitting hobby for him.
Yeah.
We got Lizzie and Jay, blunt in a joint. Yeah, growing up, it was always like, oh, blunts or joints. So it became kind of our love of like martial arts movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like a battle between the two, almost like a 5 versus 5.
Let's see. Mason, he's based off of Glass Jar. He's into sports. It's kind of like the ironic thing. We have this like glass guy who's into this, all these like physical things.
Oh, there we go. That's better.
We got vapes, more of a like futuristic thing. So we made him into like video games and kind of electronical things. And yeah, that's our main cast of Budz right there.
Yeah, so I think we have 10 so far.
Pretty cool
more like things for them to do.
Yeah, and there's other little side characters. Plus we have our villains. I don't have pictures of our villains right on me.
Yeah, we also have the 4 Ds out at the moment.
So for our like villains of the Toonbuds, we wanted to have represent the things that cannabis fights. So we have like disease and depression and darkness and dullness. So they're like the embodiment of those 4 things, and they're like the generals, and they that's who the Toonbuds fight. It felt like a fitting, like it felt like the fitting enemy for them.
Yeah, exactly. They have like those things kind of like conspiring against them.
So I guess how long into I led into like the tips there, but how long into the friendship before like you guys really started talking about the collaboration of anything? I mean,
yeah, that was pretty realistically, that was pretty quick turnaround time. I'd say within 3 months or less of the Harvest Cup is when we like, because it was coming up on spring. And I remember, I think one of the first times I had you guys at the house, it was wicked nice outside. And we had like a 3-hour sesh, and just spitball ideas and, came out with like a notebook full of them. Um, so it all kind of ran in tandem together, to be honest with you, where about 3 months later, we met for the first time, hung out, smoked, talked a little shop, and was like, hey, I'd love to do some grow tips. And Jeremy and Jason were like, we could do a board for your grow tips with your characters and some of ours. I was like, let's see it. So they sent me one and it was blank. And I was like, that looks pissa. So that's when we started doing the basic grow tips. It was like, all right, keep your pH between this and this during this stage, just simple things for growing, trying to get, because I've always wanted to be more on that educational piece. So trying to get a little bit more education. And that's one thing, like, for me, I love showing off my grows, but I've been trying to get better at is educating people. Like I can show you what I do, but let me talk about it a little bit, so that's where that started. And then that went on. And Jeremy, Jason, let me know if memory serves me correctly. I think we started the comic strips within the first year of knowing each other.
Yeah, I know we started planning them in the first year. Did we release
Yeah,
them?
I think we started talking about them within the first year.
So maybe like the beginning of year one is when we started the little comic strips. So we were doing, old school newspaper style, 3 to 5 cell comic strips.
How long does it take to just throw a comic strip together?
I'll let you guys take this one.
Well, it depends on the length, but like smaller comic strips, we can get out pretty quickly. As long as you have like the idea, it's like you have the idea and you like storyboard it out, and then like you just want to check it a couple times. I have a pile of ideas. I usually like to keep a backlog of just like big pile. Cause then like I like to sit there a while, come back. I'm like, is this still a good idea? Because sometimes you look at it, you're like, what is this?
So yeah, usually we'll smoke, we'll talk about ideas and stuff. We'll write the ideas down, and then Jeremy will like storyboard the idea out and like try to like separate the dialogue and stuff, and then I take it and I kind of like try to repanel it into like something more compositionally correct.
Exactly.
And yeah, and then it goes to then I send the edits. I send it to Budz. He's like, do you want any edits? And we're like, yes or no, and then we'll work on the dialogue together.
Yeah.
So, but turnaround time, I usually like when we were doing the little comic strips, like from the idea to when. So, and just to give you a little background too, Eagle. So, Jason does all of our illustrations and all of the drawings. So, everything that you see on our accounts, that is thanks to his hands. He is a master of his trade. Jeremy and myself, and Jeremy more so, is the storyboard guy who comes up with the ideas, the storyline, the wording, lays it out. And during our collaboration, getting more into the comic strip, which is leading into the graphic novel, that's where him and I have really meshed well, as we've been having those creative ideas, forming that storyboard, that big picture story with all the little parts. And then Jason comes in and is like, all right, this is what you guys want, draws it out, gives it to us. Is like, is this what you guys are thinking? 9 out of 10 times, it's like, yes, it is. And he'll tell you, I felt bad recently. I've had to give him some edits where I was like, could we change these cells? Like, because he put so much time and work into things. But getting back to the comic strips, what would you guys say, like start to finish, when you draw the storyboard, draw it out, color it, and it's finalized, like hour-wise? What do you guys think that typically takes?
We can do like, I feel like a page a day.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 10 to 12 hours.
Yeah, like we could do one in like one day, basically.
Not bad.
Yeah, we try to because we live in the same house, so we can edit back and forth pretty quickly. So we shuffle back and like it's like, okay, this needs to be fixed, this needs to be fixed, I need this dialogue to match this, or like this makes no sense.
Yeah, and we have a lot of shorthand together. He sends me all these stick figures and stuff, and I'll be like, all right, I know exactly what you mean from this stick figure.
Yeah, it's more like I lay down like the foundation of the jokes and stuff, and like I let Jason kind of the art and fill in. Like he's an artist, so I know he knows what the background. I'm not gonna try to attempt the background. And then like I have this like little shorthand for pot plants that Jason does. Like, oh, he wanted a pot plant here, but he didn't want to draw that out. I feel bad because he has to draw it out.
Oh, yeah, I've drawn so many leaves over the years.
Right. So, what kind of stuff would we will we find in the book, in the graphic novel? I mean, what can we
Great
divulge it at
segue.
all?
So the graphic novel, it's Time Warp. The highest event or greatest adventure of your life. Do I have the subtitle right?
Yeah.
That's terrible. I don't even know the full title of our book correctly.
I
But
think it's
it's
like the
Time
highest
Warp.
adventure ever, right?
Highest adventure ever.
Yes,
Something
the
like that. I
highest
think I forgot
adventure
what
ever.
about it.
So little, what to expect. So pretty much what we did was before we were doing comic strips where the Beaver Budz and Toonbuds characters, the main ones, Bongo and Kiefer, along with Beaver and Budz, were going on these time travel adventures, like in different time periods and finding, the best cannabis of that time period. And we got a lot of great feedback about it. We liked it a lot, and we knew there was something more to it. So we're like, how can we expand on this? So originally, we started doing just a comic book series. We were going to expand it, to mini comic books and just do that individual stories. And probably about halfway through, like discussing that, starting to plan it out and stuff, we kind of just was like, let's do a book instead. Let's just scrap all this work we did. Let's form a book and let's start doing this. And what we did was we have an overarching story, but some of it is, not to give it all away, is my characters and their characters meet. They hit it off. Next thing they know, they're traveling through time, going on adventures and not sure why. And by the end of it, they have seen the big picture and figured out why they met and why they went on this adventure together. So we take you through different time periods, a lot of funny puns, a lot of cool, quick adventures. So it's almost like a lot of short stories in one big story.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we also added a bunch of like cannabis history into it to make it a little educational.
Yeah, give little facts about the era and stuff, like just like for example, like I think it was the Egyptian goddess Shishat. She is a goddess of like creativity and measurement and stuff like that, and she's often depicted with what looks like a pot leaf on her head. So we're like, oh, perfect character to bring into this our ancient Egypt chapter.
Exactly. Just having like fun with it. Also like showing like just like how it's been like the culture of cannabis through the different times and how they're portrayed and like.
And just because Bongo and Kiefer are the two going on the Budz doesn't mean won't see the rest of our characters, because you'll see like their ancestors.
So how it sounds like a lot of work, a lot of drawing.
Oh yeah, it is a lot.
At least when you say the word novel, when you put it in the term novel, it seems like a lot of drawing.
Yeah, I think it's over 100 pages at the moment.
Yeah, it's over 100 pages now. It's just the project that keeps growing.
Yeah.
It needed to be this big though. It's too big of an idea to convey in our original comic strips that we planned. It was just too short. We needed more time. Yeah. And now we got plenty of time.
Yeah. So in end, we're looking at almost 120 page, graphic novel. What was going to be 2 to 3 page comics.
Nice. So where do you guys plan on kicking it off? Where will it be available?
So right now, we've been doing a lot of marketing, Jeremy and myself, going out, talking to stores, talking to dispensaries, smoke shops, anywhere that's cannabis friendly, to see one, if we can get our books on their shelves and stuff. And we've gotten some great feedback. So luckily, once everything's finalized come March, we'll be able to release all the bookstores that we're going to be in, that we're working on right now. We'll have digital copies available as well. Also, we'll be doing a ton of events in the New England area in 2024, so we'll have booths and everything. But as far as like kickoff parties, right now, Jeremy and Jason work with a place called Underground Culture, if I'm correct, down in Rhode Island. And we'll do one of our kickoff parties there. We also have the Summit Lounge in Worcester, Mass. And then we also I'm starting to partner up with a group of unique individuals within the cannabis industry that have similar backstories and are doing their own thing. That's for a discussion for another time. But they have a facility where they've been hosting classes, and I'm in the works of potentially teaching classes next year, on some of the things I do in the industry and growing and stuff there. But anyways, that's another place where we'll have a release party. So we're hoping to have, 2 or 3 release parties that are smoke friendly. So that way we can enjoy ourselves, bring in some food, be able to have a joint with everyone, answer questions, sign copies of the book, and also bring in some of the local people that we work with and network with to show off their stuff as well, because they'll bring in some samples and everything, and just show a lot of love to the community. And then we'll see where it goes from there. I've told these guys, I have a great gut feeling. Like, I think there's something much bigger at play, and we're just starting to scratch it right now. I think, a year from now will be very different, with this book. There's something really awesome with this.
It sounds like a really cool project, to be honest with you. And I can't imagine, again, outside of coming up with the ideas and, coming up with the illustrations and all that good stuff. Have you guys ever dipped your feet in? I mean, you said a page or 2 comics. It's putting together a comic, like a 1-2 page comic, and getting a book together and thinking about the publicity and all the legwork and all that is a lot of work. I mean, how has it been? I mean, how has that process been? I mean,
it's
where
for
do you
sure
start?
been a
Where do
ton of
you
work.
even start with that? To be honest with you, I guess that's what I see it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like you don't know. You kind of just have to like feel it out. We just kind of like when we first started, we didn't even know like what events to go to.
Yeah.
We were going to everything. We were going to like horror conventions. We were going to some random ass things.
Yeah. We were like, basically, we made like a coloring book, a grow guide, and a like a comic book, but it was like a thriller kind of comic book, the Into the Backwards.
Oh yeah.
So we had like smaller projects that we've done before. So we've had a little bit of practice, and we kind of came into this bigger project, kind of like having like knowing like, okay, that's how you make the smaller one. So let's just scale up.
Yeah.
We did to like this bigger size. That made that a little bit easier.
And then having Mark with us collaborating is also making it like a bit easier to like actually go around and get
events. Yeah, because I feel like that's what we were slacking on the last like couple months.
Well, the events and trying to get advertisers and stuff like that.
Yeah, so but definitely
it definitely helps to have more people.
Exactly. And then like we were just like trying to like take all of our ideas when we sat down, and then like I basically kind of just structure them into some storyboards, and then like kind of just like look at it, go back and forth. So it's been a lot, it's a lot, but like I think like just taking it one step at a time helps. Just like
when we actually go to events and people get to see it and we get to talk to people, we get a good response from like the people, which I'm like, that's always a boost when you put so much work into something and it's like finally the people you want to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, getting it to them is definitely hard. I can feel
no,
that.
I agree. Yeah, no, I mean, you guys said it exactly. It is hard. Like, I also never thought like I would be part of a graphic novel, or that would be part of, my brand as well and stuff, because I've always been focused on my growing, my genetics. I like creating strains of cannabis and sharing those with them. I also like winning awards as well, So this, which is a very unique opportunity, especially in the cannabis space right now, because out here, at least on the East Coast, there's, we're breaking those stigmas. You have a lot of your companies, you have your edible companies, your extraction companies, your flower companies, your dispensaries, etc. But, and you do have art, but not a lot of art, in this space. And the nice thing with cannabis is it's just not about smoking a plant. It's just not about healing people. There's a lot more to this, as part of the culture, part of the environment, part of that family with cannabis. And, being part of this is awesome. So the marketing part, I'm used to going out and, shopping for businesses and stuff like that and stuff, but it is a little intimidating because this is my product now, it's no one else's. And what Jeremy and Jason said, when we go out in public and show people teasers and talk about it, you can feel how much they're enjoying this and like they really do mean what they say. And I also think they're feeling our passion for it and we're feeding off of each other, so that's been a great part. But it's a lot of work. We walked around the other day for 4 or 5 hours and was able to hit 15 stores, in 4 or 5 hours. So, when we do these events, that will be fun and stuff, because we'll be able to get out to a lot more masses in a lot quicker capacity. And also too, it's kind of nice seeing where you get support business wise and stuff. We do have some local businesses that are like, we definitely want to help you, whether it's, you come into our dispensary and we do a quick launch party with you, do a little marketing that way. You come in, sign some copies and stuff, or, we put it on our shelves, so it's interesting. It's very different than trying to convince people I grow good weed and you should buy my seeds, so yeah, it's a challenge, but it's a fun challenge, and I don't think there's been a time yet where the three of us have been bummed out about this collaboration or upset. Like, if anything, I think we're just enhancing each other's, careers going forward, for the future.
No, for sure. I think this was a good teamwork. We're definitely, I feel like, getting different perspectives on it. So we're definitely making this the best project it could be.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good mesh of all three of our ideas into it. It's definitely, I feel like, a good.
I know. I do see all three of us in like certain spots. I'm like, oh, this does kind of feel like a true collaboration between the three of us.
Yeah, that's why I like to take our time to make sure it felt that way too, and not just like slapped together. Like,
and another cool thing with the graphic novel, we have a lot of puns in there that people will recognize and stuff, but also we have a lot of Easter eggs. Like, we have some special things, within the graphic novel as well, that, and it's more so for those original old school fans that know, and when they go through the book, there's going to be little things that are going to be like, yep, I know what that is, so it is exciting, and also too, hopefully everyone likes our storyline so we can, because we've kind of have part 2 ready, so that way, launch that, in time as well.
There's always ideas flowing.
Yeah, I like the chapter pages. We made them almost like a little bit Where's Waldo. So each chapter page itself is its own own entertainment, and then you have the stories.
Yeah, give you something to stare at for a little bit.
Exactly. So there's a lot of layers to everything, which is nice.
So it also give you a good chance to get out and maybe vendor at some of these events and meet a lot of people. How are the events where you're at? I mean, are they pop up here and there? Or are they, pretty steady at this point?
Great question. Oh, and before the question you asked me before, there was more to that answer. I got a little winded on that. So getting back to what we're doing, because it's a unique space in cannabis right now, especially out here. Right now, there's one company who are our friends, Talkin with the Dead, who have their comic book series, which is a stoner zombie comic book series. They also have their TV series as well. And then our friend Sam Mazzarano, who writes, If You Gave a Dog a Lab. Outside of that, in that artistic space, there is really no one else. So, what's cool about us, we're doing a very unique thing that no one has touched upon, or at least publicly touched upon in our industry. And hopefully, through this and as time goes on, things like this, people realize what, those stigmas they were just stigmas. Let's move on, and they can see that freedom, the expression that we have within the graphic novel. But we're excited for that because it is a very small niche right now in the market. And that's why, when I say I think there's much bigger things coming out of this, it's because that's so new in the market right now. No one's exploring truly the overall artistic side of it. It's more like How can we get a little higher? What could we do to improve this process? At least that's what we see here on the East Coast, for that realm.
Yeah, for sure. I don't really see many other people besides the two that you mentioned, and even them, they're very different from us already.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're
all very unique from each other.
Comic, so
all live in harmony.
But getting back to the shows. So I would say I go to a lot of shows. I know Jeremy and Jason do. I would say they're getting better. They're getting bigger, more frequent, and you're starting to see more what I like to call mom and pop shows. So it's more locals showcasing other locals. Yes, there are some big cannabis names that, are in the state or within the New England area that do come to, the bigger conventions, but a lot more of the gatherings I'm seeing are more your underground mom and pop private event style, which is awesome. And right now I'm planning out my 2024 schedule along with Toonbuds, so we can figure out what shows we can go to, locations, and plan all of that, the scheduling and whatnot. And what I'm getting back, there's a lot. There's a couple groups out here that will do 4 or 5 big shows a year. So they are getting better. Some shows you get a ton of swag at, other shows there's not much. But what I am noticing, which is cool, is the more mom and pop style shows and private events, they're getting more notoriety. They'll get a few celebs here and there, some music acts, but you're showcasing more local. So you're getting to experience more local artisan products is what I like to say. There are a few boneheads in there that aren't artisans. And what I mean by that are the people who are actually crafting this stuff on their own, doing it from their backyard, in their basement. You go pretty much going farm to table, in our industry. So I've had a lot of positivity at these events. That's how I've been able to get my name out there and network a lot and meet a lot of the individuals that I'm starting to do things with. So for me, it's been very positive, these events. But I've also been to a couple of events that were trash. You win some, you lose some.
Do you guys see this thing kind of evolving as a step 1 into maybe an automated like series?
We've discussed that.
Yeah, because we do animation.
We do some animations. We did a winter special. It's on YouTube. It's called Bongo Saves Winter. It was me basically learning how to animate, but we did win a couple awards for it. Here's one of them.
Comedy for the Port Life Decision
Film Festival. Yeah, Best Stoner Cannabis Comedy Short Film Domestic.
Oh yeah.
And then we also won Shockingly Artistic.
The Hampton Cannabis International.
Yeah, so we starting to get into animations. That would be the dream. We always talked about having a cartoon of our own. That would be.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, it takes a lot because you've drawn that.
Yeah, just doing it by myself, I'm like, oh my god, I'm doing between 15 and 30 frames a second, so doing a lot of drawings.
Yeah, the first animation was like 17 minutes, so it was like 10,000 frames or so. So it was a lot of drawing. It was a one-man drawing like show.
Yeah, I think they said, we were like looking it up, it was like it takes like 100 people 4 months to do an episode of The Simpsons or something like that. Yeah. I was like, I wish I had 100 people. Maybe one day.
I know. That's like, how long? It was like 8 months to draw that.
It was 8 months, but I definitely learned a lot doing it. And we planned our whole next animation. You can check out, we made like a little animated intro for us. That's, everyone was like, if you're going to animate, you have to get this book. It's called like the Animator Survival Kit. So I got this book. It's written by the same guy who did the animation for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's really good. It like shows you how to do everything. I'm like, I wish I got this before we did the winter special, but definitely learned a lot from that book, and I'm looking forward to like seeing people's reaction to our new stuff.
Yeah, we made a little intro with like the newer animation, and people loved it. And they were just like, "Oh, I want more." So it's like, oh.
And we just have so many ideas, as you can imagine. We'll smoke and be like, "Oh, what about this? What about that?"
I have a pile of ideas ready to go. We just like sometimes like look through the pile, like, okay, what's one kind of like, it's your day, you're out of the pile, you can think come to life.
You guys have got it enough right now already, in my opinion, with the cast that you have, and just putting them to life, and maybe even mimicking your life in some ways. You've already got Grinder growing and maybe winning some awards, you know what I mean? And possibly going to the events and kind of mimicking the Camus culture a little bit, or how that works out. There's a lot to be said already with the characters you have. You just already have to kind of mesh together and put them to life. Yeah, you guys got an interesting thing going, that's for sure.
No, I
Thank
can
you.
attest.
Appreciate it.
Every time I go over their house, storyboards covering the wall, stacks of paper with ideas and storyboards. They're nonstop.
So, yeah, it's got to be a lot of work to do all that. That's for sure. And do you have a hard release date? I know I've heard March, but is there like a March?
So right now, we're for any advertisement spots that are left, and anyone that would like to do a product placement within the novel, we have a deadline of January 31st. We're giving it to then. And then we're taking the month of February, probably into the first or second week of March, to do any final edits, any add-ons that we need to, and then speak with the printing companies. Luckily, the printing companies we've been speaking with are quick turnaround times, which is in our favor. So realistically, we haven't set a concrete date, but I would say the second week of March, the book should be available.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty accurate.
That's awesome. It's super awesome.
Yeah, we're in the home stretch right now, so I haven't asked Jason truly how many hours he's put in, because I know it's definitely into the high hundreds, if not thousands already, just with drawing, for this graphic novel. It's a question I just don't ask him. We avoid it.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely probably over 1,000.
Yeah. We rewritten a bunch of chapters too. Like things that we didn't like or didn't work, we like took the time to like take them out or fix it, and like.
Yeah, it's probably over like 1,500 hours actually.
We've like written whole stories. There's like, this doesn't work. This has to go.
But
it's coming out good.
It's coming out good. I really love it.
I like all the things that we've done so far. I definitely like all the like little things we did.
Yeah.
How involved is cannabis in the process? I mean,
I can say we smoke a lot of blunts when we get together.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those don't.
But I will say, we have had some rewrites where we've realized the story could be a little bit better or change things up because it didn't make sense. But at the end of the day, no matter how much weed we smoke, when the book comes out, people will realize it just wasn't a couple of stoners putting shit together. Like, we're truly making something beautiful. And I'm very, very honored to be working with the two of them. I've done collabs with other people and they've worked out great, but there's something very unique and special with Jeremy and Jason. And I've said that from the beginning. If my wife was here, she would tell you the same thing. And I absolutely love what we're doing. And I'm so happy I get to be a part of it with them. And I hope everyone, when it does come out, realizes, our passion, our dreams, and realizes we weren't farting around. Like, we put a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, tears into this to make this happen. And at the end of the day, right now, it's the three of us. We don't have financial backers. We don't have a team. The financial backers are them doing side jobs and me doing side jobs. That's the financial backers. The people drawing this is the guy right in front of you. The guys coming up with the storyboard are the other two in the room. So we have a lot of love in this, and I can't wait to share it with everyone. I hope everyone else likes it. At the end of the day, if not, we wrote a book for ourselves.
Now, I think we got a lot of layers in the book, and I think there's something for everyone, especially with the format we did, where it's like all these little adventures in the big adventure, and we get to explore all these time periods. I think there's something for everyone.
Yeah, I think you'll find one chapter that you like.
And we definitely put a lot of work into this. So I think people will see.
Yeah, no, I definitely think they'll have a chuckle or two.
How could you not?
I think a lot of people be interested. That's for sure. I think it's just getting people's eyes on the book itself. You know what I mean? I think if you guys get out to a lot of these events, couple maybe life-size cardboard cutouts, and each side in the books right there. I think that's enough to draw people in and, at least hear you out. And I'm sure, grab a copy and check it out. People like to support people that are living their dreams. I do. So I think it's an easy sell, to be honest with you. So if somebody's like interested in, helping you guys support, this endeavor, how do they get a hold of you, say, to get some copies to put in their, dispensary, grocery store, or even maybe their booth? They just want to, add it to their vendor booth. You know what I mean?
So for that, right now I'm handling all of that because it's just easier. Where they've been doing a lot of the meat of the book, I've just been accepting everything. So you can reach out to me directly on my Instagram accounts, whether it's Beaver Budz or Beaver Budz Backup. You can also email me directly at beaverbuds@gmail.com. And another option is, if you want, on my website, there's also a little section at the bottom where you can reach out to me as well. So multiple ways to get in touch with me. And, I can give further information, give you all those details. Anyone that may be interested in whether, taking out one of the remaining advertisement spots, doing a product placement within the novel as well, or even just supporting us by, consigning or buying our book to put on their shelves or just for their own personal use. So that could all be directed at me right now, and I can answer all those questions for everyone.
I like kind of the idea, though. How are you going to work in fucking talking shit with Eagle? I want to see.
So it's funny you said that right now. I was about to text you guys. I've already thought there's actually probably a good place we could put him in one of the chapters I'm thinking about as a character, with a little play on an eagle. So I think It's funny you asked that because as the show's going on, I already thought of this and I was like, yeah, I have the perfect spot. I think he would work on. We could do a little eagle character for you.
No, I honestly do think that's really cool about the product placement aspect of you guys. I think that's really cool. That's why I asked. And I mean, how do you work in like that's another
So working in, and if you guys want to speak to that one, Jason, especially where you're drawing it in, how we'll work in the different types of product placements we can do.
So I think we have a couple different sizes for product placement things. I think we have some smaller sizes, or do we have small, medium, and large, or is it just small and large?
Small, medium, large.
Small, medium, large. So I think the small, I think we're gonna just have was it on to someone's piece? Do you have the list?
Right.
I'm blanking on the list.
So what we're looking at for the product placement, depending on the size that you get, you could be like a billboard in the background of one of the cells of a scene. Your company name might be the top of an entire booth. So you see your name out there. You might want a character with a t-shirt with your product, and Jason, I'll let you take over, with what else we can do with the product placement?
We got a small product placement. It's like just a logo in the background. I left a lot of spaces in the background where we can put signs, logos, things like that. Medium is a 40. It's a logo on a character shirt or on a stand. We could give you a.
Well, the first chapter I placed it in a weed convention, so I'm hoping to fill in those stands.
Yeah.
Real weed businesses. So we have a lot of stands.
Yeah, the first chapter definitely has a lot of opportunities for businesses because originally we were like, oh, it would be so cool to have all these tents be real businesses. So we have a lot of tents like that.
So like our friend Itastic, you know, he has a tent. So that way we have his little logo and his name that will be right on the front banner of a tent, you know, on the cover of chapter 1, you know, and that's his product placement. So as soon as you see that when you read, you know, and then if you're from this area, you'll most likely recognize, be like, oh, I know that guy from Instagram. I follow him. Like, oh, that's cool. He's in the book now.
Yeah, like Itastic, we made a little character for him. He's got a little 3D like or etching, laser etching, because he does laser etching and he does 3D printing. So we made him a little laser character.
Yeah, he might appear in the book.
So yeah, if you want a character done for your business, you can reach out and we can accommodate. If you have your own character already, I can put it in, or if you don't have a character, I can send you a few sketches, see what you like, design you a little character. But that's for the product placement, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Those are the 3 sizes we have.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
pretty
also,
much we can
like,
put you anywhere in the graphic novel and do pretty
We
much.
can draw characters anywhere. So if like a lot of companies have characters they want in there, we could put them anywhere they want. Or like we have spots that we kind of like saved for like different like businesses, like for that like vegan spots.
yeah, and we could work it into the story a little bit, like the large placement.
Yeah, large person stuff. If like they really want, we could try to work them into.
Yeah, have them interact with whatever.
That's a great idea all in itself, to be honest with you. See, that's another thing. I asked you, like, where do you start in this process? And that's something right there I would have never even thought of. I've never even thought of that shit. Kudos.
There's so many little aspects.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things.
That's why I'm like, I couldn't just do this by myself. When people are like, oh, I'm doing all the work, I'm like, I could not do this without him. He handles so much fucking shit.
I was like the foundation. Well, we all like had the ideas, but I laid down like, okay, this is how the story could be, and then we all kind of agreed, like, yeah, that's how the story could be, and then we've been editing it and like molding it from there. But yeah, it takes a lot of like, okay, we need this story structure. We have all the characters having their own little like stories. We need the overarching story, and then we have each chapter having its own story. So there was a lot of like things need to like make sure they connect and gel together. And like it was just like I was more guiding to make sure things like snap into like work. And I feel like it really came out good though. I feel like a lot of things like really came out clever and like.
Yeah, and I really like how everything wrapped up in the end. Yeah. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I do really like how everything ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few different endings, and we finally came to.
Yeah, we finally landed on it.
I think that was one of our high stoner moments. We were like, "What did we agree on 4 months ago for the ending?" And then 2 months ago.
That would be the hardest thing I would think about a collaboration like this would be, the agreeing on stuff like that. Other than that, I'm a firm believer in the Napoleon Hill, like the mastermind circle type mindset of involving people into a greater idea, but involving people that have their own strengths that are outside of yours. So, and that's what you have. You have an illustration guy, and I have a tasman guy, and an advertising guy. It's what I'm seeing here pretty much. You guys all have your own lane for a greater purpose. which allows you guys to concentrate on the things that you're good at and the things you love. That you know what I mean. That excel that in all lanes allows you guys to excel. You know what I mean? That makes for a
Thank
good.
you. Thank
No,
you very
definitely.
much. No, I
Yeah, thank
agree
you.
totally. We are very unique. We do have a lot of similarities, but you are right. We're all very unique. And speaking from working in different industries and everything, and being in those leadership positions, you are right. When you do have a lot of like-mindedness, but very different assets in that, it works very well, especially when you get that right group together. And I think, no, I'm a big believer in karma. Everything happens for a reason. There was a reason why their brother ran up to me. There's a reason I gave him a couple joints. They gave me one of their grow guides. Then we called each other. We hung out. We talked about stuff. We did this. Then we did this. Now we're doing this. All of it is happening for a reason. What it might, I may not understand someday. None of us might, but there is something magical happening. And I think because we all bring something very different to the table, you are right. It's a very nice balance. I'm a big believer in three, the power of three. That's a discussion for a whole nother time. We could talk hours about the power of three. No, I won't go down that road right now. But it's when you think about it, the power of three, it's 1, 2, 3. That's what it is. It's that perfect triangle. Yeah, I don't know. I love these guys. I love working with them. I could say nice things all day about them. But yeah, what we each bring to the table is just working for us. The bond, the collaboration, it works for us, and I'm very, very happy to be part of that because you don't get that a lot in life, and it's nice.
Yeah. Definitely working together. I feel like with people, it's always just like, no, don't be afraid to offend. This is the writing room. We're gonna disagree. Like, you have to just approach. We all want it to be the best it can be. I mean, you have to always remember that. Sometimes you're fighting for ideas. Sometimes you gotta compromise. But I feel like we had a nice real blend, and it never really ever got too heated.
No, I never take offense if you're like, you need to re-edit this or redo this.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I'm like, you know what? I think I do need to redo that.
No, exactly. We're always doing that kind of stuff. It's all about making it the best you can do, and I feel like some people forget that and take things to heart. And that's why it's hard to work with each other and collaborating on a creative process like this.
Yeah, and we all have our strengths, and then we all have different other knowledges that are just going to be boosting each other up to make our strengths even stronger. I think so.
Plus, everyone has different sense of humor too, so it's always hard to gel and that to make sure. But we definitely get that blend, so everyone can enjoy it.
No, I think we as a Toonbuds, I always want to give off good vibes, and I feel like when I first saw the Beavah characters, I was like, damn, these characters give off some good vibes.
I know. How can you not be happy with beavers? But in all honesty, has anyone ever seen a beaver? I've never seen a beaver in real life. You guys ever seen a beaver?
I don't think so. I know it was your favorite animal growing up.
Yeah, I actually had a beaver.
Abington is the land of the beavers. Never seen a beaver in my town. I've been here for 4 decades. Never seen a beaver. So beavers for me are mystical. I'm not sure if they're real.
Like a jackalope.
Jackalope.
Muted rats. There we go. How could that blows my mind there. How could you have not seen a beaver before?
Yeah, never seen, not even at a zoo. I've never seen a beaver. I've seen a stuffed beaver at, the Natural Museum of History. I've never seen a real life beaver.
Yeah, I've definitely seen stuffed beavers.
Yeah.
They're
animal.
Very
I don't know
creatures.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen them at the zoo. That's interesting, but yeah, I do love the characters.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love your characters as well. You know,
Yeah,
but I
thank you.
gotta, I mean, I thought of the idea with these characters, but I have to say, I owe it all to my wife. She's the one who brought them to life and drew them because I can't draw for crap. I'm horrendous at drawing. So, the beaver buds, the cuteness, what really came to life, that's thanks to my, amazing wife, in her spare time on top of her schedule, creating that for me. And then you guys have done an amazing job mirroring, what she created. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I try to stay as close as I can while stretching it a little bit because it's a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone stretches and squashes a little bit.
Yeah, we're all about that rubber hose old school cartoon, so you have to have our characters bend around.
But I do think they actually match really well with our characters after like drawing them together so many times. I'm like, you know what? They have a lot of the similar like shape language. So I think they actually make a great team.
And also, too, this is the first time you guys have worked with color.
I worked
so
with black
the two
and
of
white
them
for so long.
have always been black and white. So the awesome thing about this is it's bringing color and bringing life and watching, almost you have your old school, you have your legacy, then you have your new school legacy. It's almost bringing those two together. You're bringing your old cartoons and new cartoons together. So like that's a nice aspect of it as well, and their cartoons are awesome in black and white, but it's like, oh, look at that. What's that? Is that a little red, little green? What's going on here? So that's very unique. I know for you guys, outside of your normal realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stick with the 4 colors.
Well, I use like when we first started, I had this really crappy art pad, and it was like the colors were so limited. All I had was like I think like 10 grays, and those were like the 10 grays that we used. But yeah, it is definitely because I used to do a lot of color before I started working digitally. I went through some art phases. I went through a black and white charcoal phase, and then I went through a real colorful pastel phase. Then I kind of went to like just sketching, and then I discovered digital art, and that brought me back into black and white. And now this is bringing me all the way back into color. But
you had that really bad pad, and like you didn't have like any options, so we kind of like made Toonbuds with the color palettes we have because it's like that's what we have.
Yeah,
so,
use what you got.
Use what you got. But then we ended up getting a nicer drawing pad in like Photoshop.
Yeah, and that really expanded. That was like the next level for Toonbuds, and now the color is almost like the next level because I keep hearing people like, "Oh, I love the color, I love the color," and it's like. Even with this book in particular, because it's about time travel and history, we have like the old school cartoons with these like newer cartoons. It kind of like fits together really well with this book, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been coloring in black and white for so long now. Whenever I color now, it's just like shoot color out of me. It's like every single color. I'm like, this one. As you, Mark's probably seen some real colorful pages.
Yeah.
Yes,
different.
no, I mean it's the artwork is mesmerizing. If people don't like the story, they're just going to be blown away by the artwork while they're all stoned. Like it's just a lot of vibrant, beautiful colors, great illustration, and like everything makes sense. We did it right. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope people. These chapter pages in particular are some of like the best landscape pictures I've done in like probably ever. So I'm really proud of these chapter pages.
Yeah, they definitely came out really. We don't do that big of like pages stuff. So it was a nice like change of pace.
Yeah, and there's so many characters. That's definitely the most characters I've ever drawn on a page.
Yeah,
I think there's probably like 70 characters on that chapter 1 page. Something like that. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
But I have a fun drawing, so I'm grateful that I even had this opportunity to do like what I love to do for a living. So I'm grateful that I have people who are actually backing me up here.
Yeah. I definitely think
It's
everyone
cool.
enjoy Yeah.
I hope all the three of you get the opportunity to kind of get out there, at least in the beginning, to, do some of the, a little bit of the meets. Because I know I enjoyed meeting, the people that, write the books and stuff like that. I enjoy signed copies. I enjoy a physical hard books. So I enjoyed also more to get it signed by the author. But it's nice to get the feel for the people, you know what I mean, when you're out there talking about their dream and stuff like that. So, yeah. I
Yeah, I've
hope.
had a few people ask me for my autograph, and I'm like, always so honored when they do. I'm like, "Oh, you really? You want me to sign this?" I know. I never thought there would be a day, but I think it's starting to happen. Yeah, people definitely enjoy it when we get out there, and they definitely like get a laugh out of all the like things we've been doing. So. Yeah, and I think people see the potential in it too. They'll see it and they'll be like, I'm just gonna buy something because I believe in this project. And it's like, you know what? Thank you so much.
No, I have to say, when I talk about it with people, and I've been fortunate enough at some classes I've taken recently, excuse me, I've been given the opportunity to, talk in front of 30, 50 people and just tell them a little bit about my background, but also, tell them a lot about the graphic novel coming out and, some of the other little things I've been working on. And the amount of support, and I've told these guys after every class, almost every person is like, let me know when they come out. I want a first edition. It's just an overwhelming support of people. Partly, I believe a lot of these people believe in small business, mom and pop stuff, but also they see the passion in it, and if you saw me like when I talk like in front of these individuals or, like for the classes and stuff, you just feel it, I just have a lot of love for this plan and what I'm doing and the things I'm trying to do in this. And, through this book, like they said, there is, the educational piece. And, it's not an over amount of education in it because it is at the end of the day, it is a long comic book that, we want to have some fun with. But, I look at it, it's just another piece to help educate people, and just, push this everything in the right direction, because, the more the better it is. It's similar like my mom. She was very against all of this, tried CBD when I had a CBD company, was like, wow, this works awesome. And then became my biggest advocate. And she tells everyone in her 55 plus community, my son's coming out with a book. We'll probably do a release party at the 55 plus community, at this point. But, so getting back to, the question.
Hey, wait a minute. I just realized I was like right there and shit. I'm not far off from the 55 plus and shit.
That's the minimum age. My mom, I won't give her age out, 70. But that's the minimum age you gotta, to move in there. But and it's just, seeing, older people, seeing younger people, seeing people our age, and hearing that support when we do talk about it, and getting ready to release this, it's just awesome. And and I do think tides are turning because I never thought like, it's like, oh, here's a 40-year-old coming out with a, giant comic book, like really Andy's a stoner. Like, and then people are like, I can't wait for it to come out. That sounds amazing. Wow. Like, it's just a lot of positivity, a lot of great feedback that we're getting. And an overwhelming amount of support, which is nice. Because also too, at the end of the day, in the cannabis industry, it is tough at times, so it's good to have that backing, especially with the people that actually matter in this industry, the people that are trying to make those differences and push the positivity and everything. Enough of my bullshit. Anyway.
I believe you guys are going to do well. I believe everybody. I think 24 in general, I'm getting like a good vibe from. I think it's going to be a great year for a lot of people, if not everybody.
So I was telling my wife right before this, literally, I had about 15, 20 minutes with her coming home from the brewery before this started. And I said the same exact thing. I go, Tenny, I have a very good gut feeling. It's not going to be more so like a great year for me. I think it's going to be a good year in general. I feel a lot of good things coming. I don't know what it is. I just feel a good thing. And, my wife, she's of Chinese ancestry, and it's the year of the dragon, and there's a lot of truth, to the Chinese culture and even, at least for me personally. And the year of the dragon is supposed to bring good fortunes to everyone. So I think next year, I don't know what will happen, but I agree with you. I think there's a lot of good things coming to many, many people, and I think it's something we all need and we've been looking forward to, because the last few years haven't been great. We need to have that upward swing.
No, for sure. I definitely agree. I'm like 2024, this is going to be it. I got a good feeling.
Yeah.
We're going to hit it hard. We got everything set up. We got this great new product coming out beginning of the year. We're going to hit all these events. We got a good feeling.
Yeah, we got the game plan. We got the experience. People know us.
Yep.
I think definitely things are coming together.
We each have a few awards under our belts. I feel like that'll help us a little bit.
Congratulations on those awards, by the way. Both all year round there.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
So, when you see us on late night TV, you can be like, I interviewed those guys first.
I will. I enjoyed, man. There's been a lot of firsts on this channel as far as a lot of things cannabis, people showing their faces, people smoking for the first time or revealing they actually smoke, because there's been some people that haven't been, cannabis per se, but have, are involved in the outskirts and come on. Yeah, I took some edibles before the show. Like, yeah, all right. I hope that will be another one of those right there. I interviewed them first. Yeah, 100%. That'd be cool.
No, I could definitely say I've gone through your history. You've had some very cool interviews.
I hope I'm just starting. That's another thing, this thing is just kind of on the upswing again, and I'm feeling very invigorated about 24 and what interviews will come this year, I should say. So yeah, it is. I really believe we all got good things coming in 24. So with that being said, have we covered it pretty much all? I mean, I don't want to dig too deep with the Toonbuds because I do want to do another episode with them guys and kind of get it.
Oh yeah.
The beginning till now. So I don't want to dig too deep.
Start all the way from the beginning.
I know. We'll start. We saved some stuff. We definitely saved some stuff for the Toonbuds.
Right on. Beaver Budz, you got anything outside of the book you want to update us real quick, huh?
So I have a couple things in the works right now. I have, my seeds on my website, and my novelty items out there. I also have some new strains that I'm dropping this year. Those are very close to release, so those will be announced soon. And I've been talking with a group, hopefully going to be teaching next year outdoor growing classes and do a series. So this group is starting to do cannabis series. It involves Gilf by Gardens, Rip Rock, Creative, Golden Remedy Edibles, Garden, Baked Baker, and a handful of others. And they're all local artisans, from extraction specialists to flower growers to edible chefs, and they're all amazing at their craft, and they're all grassroots, or legacy, whatever you want to call them. They're all old school and they're amazing people. So I've been starting to network with them and have, shown my interest in teaching with them. And we've been talking. So right now I'm formulating a grow guide. And once that's fully done, which should be very soon, my goal is to present that to them. Hopefully they enjoy it. And then starting in 2024, I can start my grow series here locally. And it's pretty much just a grow series the dumb way. So that's how I learned. I learned by myself. I read a book that my wife got me, and there was nothing else. It was the dumb way. So I want to teach people the dumb way, because teaching them the dumb way, you'll grow good weed. And it makes sense when you go through the whole thing. But I have that in the works. And then there's a couple other things that I do have in the works I can't talk about right now, just due to what it could entail. But if it does work out, it's even more, not more exciting, adds more excitement on to what is coming out in 2024 to begin with.
Man, you guys are busy. I love it.
Non-stop hustle.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that's a pretty good place to cut this one off. If you're looking to do a follow-up episode, I'm down. Toonbuds, get at me with a date. Is ASAP. I am scheduling, whenever you guys can do it. I'm down to do it. So just give me a date that works for you both, and we'll knock out an episode from you guys, and let these guys get to know you guys from scratch. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, sounds good.
With that being said, you guys want to remind these guys again where they can find you?
Okay, you can find us toonbuds.com, on Instagram, Facebook, Toonbuds,
Weed Life,
TikTok, X.
X, yeah.
We're on everything.
Yeah,
if you Google Toonbuds, you're gonna find us.
All right.
You guys can find me on Instagram under Beaver Budz and Beaver Budz Backup. And then I have my website out there, which is just beaverbuds.com. And similar, just if you Google me, you'll find everything about me on there. And huge thank you, Eagle. Much appreciated being on the show. It was an awesome time tonight. Great conversation. So thank you very much.
No, thank you guys. You guys bought me another night of hanging out with my friends, and I greatly appreciate you for that. One last thing before you go. Actually, two things, but only one applies to one of you. First thing I'd like to get from you guys, and this is going to take some teamwork, is the little thing I call the sound bite. Basically, what I am looking for, and this will be a commercial for this episode at some point, is something close to this. Is my version. Hey, this is Eagle, and I'm on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 829. I would greatly appreciate it. I guess we could do this in alphabetical order. Beaver Buds, Toonbuds. We're on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 829. If you guys will, I am ready for that sound bite.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm on episode 829 with fucking Talking Shit with Eagle. Just wanted to give a big shout out and love to be here.
All right, no, we're gonna take this take two. You forgot Toonbuds. Let's do it. All right.
You want me to say it for everyone? My apologies.
Yeah, you gotta. All right, how about you go? You want somebody go? You can go. You say Beaver Buds, Toonbuds. You guys can all go. We're fucking talking shit with Eagle, or somebody can take charge from there. But let's try. Hold on, you guys ready? Let's try.
That was like, yeah, wasn't he supposed to wait for us to say something?
Yes, there we go. Come on. Ready?
Okay.
Hey, what's going on? It's Beaver Buds. I'm on fucking talking shit with the Eagle episode.
All right, take three.
I'll let you guys go first.
We'll go first.
Yeah.
We'll go first.
All right, you ready?
Yep. All right. Hey, this is Toonbuds.
Hey, this is Beaver Buds.
And we're on fucking talking shit with you.
There we go.
Okay, well, Beaver Buds, yeah. I was like,
that was That was perfect. It was little. That was. I'll take that. I'll take number 3. That was good. 3 for 3. That was the Trinidad right there, right? There you go. We'll take 3.
That was
All right, guys.
funny.
Thank you guys very
I know.
much for a fun episode. And I do very much wish you the best of luck on this project. And hopefully we'll do an update on that sometime in late 24 as well. And Happy New Year. Happy pre-New Year to you guys. If I don't talk to you before then. And to the rest of you guys, thank you very much for tuning in to this fun episode. Most importantly, do not forget to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. And with that being said, thank you one last time, guys.